The Canadian Army is the land component and the largest element of the Canadian Armed Forces. It is a highly capable force, consisting of full-time regular soldiers, part-time reservists serving in communities, and Canadian Rangers from remote locations in Canada. The ranks of the Canadian Army are divided into junior non-commissioned members, warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers, subordinate officer, senior officers and general officers. In this video, we will take a look at all the ranks of the Canadian Army in descending order. The highest-ranking members of the Canadian Army are classified as general officers. The ranks of general, lieutenant general, major general, and brigadier general make up the general officer ranks. The rank of general is typically held by an officer who is serving as the chief of the defence staff, and it is the highest rank that can be obtained by an officer in the Canadian Army. The rank insignia for general consists of 4 maple leaves beneath a crossed sword and baton, all surmounted by the St. Edward's crown. Lieutenant General. Lieutenant generals usually hold senior commands or administrative appointments. Appointments held by lieutenant generals may include Vice Chief of the Defence Staff, Deputy Chief of the Defence Staff, or Commander of the Canadian Army. Lieutenant generals wear a rank insignia with 3 maple leaves beneath a crossed sword and baton, all surmounted by the St. Edward's crown. Major General. Major generals usually serve as division commanders and are also responsible for tactical operations and planning. The rank insignia for Major General consists of 2 maple leaves beneath a crossed sword and baton, all surmounted by the St. Edward's crown. Brigadier General. Brigadier General is the lowest general officer rank in the Canadian Army. They usually serve as the advisors and deputy commanders to a Major General and assist in overseeing the tactical planning and coordination of division operations. Brigadier generals wear a rank insignia containing 1 maple leaf beneath a crossed sword and baton, all surmounted by the St. Edward's crown. General officers in the Canadian Army also wear a wide braid on the cuff of their dress uniform and a general officer gorget that is worn on the dress uniform collar. The ranks below the general officer ranks are the ranks for senior officers. The highest rank for senior officers in the Canadian Army is Colonel. Typical appointments for colonels include Base Commander, Commandant of the Canadian Army Command and Staff College, or the Commander of the Combat Training Centre, as well as other appointments. Colonels wear a rank insignia containing 2 pips below the St. Edward's crown. The next rank below Colonel is the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Lieutenant colonels are often employed as commanding officers of battalion-sized groups, such as infantry battalions, armoured regiments, artillery field regiments, engineer field regiments, and signal regiments, among others. Canadian Army lieutenant colonels can be identified by a rank insignia containing a pip below the St. Edward's crown. The lowest rank for senior officers in the Canadian Army is the rank of Major. Majors usually serve as company, squadron, or battery commanders, or deputy commanders of a battalion or regiment. The rank insignia for the rank of Major is the St. Edward's crown. Senior officers in the Canadian Army also wear a colonel gorget on the dress uniform collar. The next set of Canadian Army officers in descending order of seniority are called junior officers. The highest junior officer rank in the Canadian Army is the rank of captain. Captains usually serve as the commander or second-in-command of a company or squadron. They are also responsible for the personnel and equipment under their command, as well as the planning for operations. Canadian Army captains can be identified by a rank insignia containing 3 pips. Lieutenant. Lieutenants in the Canadian Army are usually in command of a platoon and usually hold the rank for 2 to 3 years before being promoted. The rank insignia for Canadian Army lieutenants is 2 pips. Second Lieutenant. This is the rank obtained after the completion of officer training, which is usually done at the Royal Military College of Canada or Royal Military College Saint John. This rank is normally held for 1 to 2 years and can be identified by a rank insignia with 1 pip. The next rank category below junior officers is subordinate officer. The rank of officer cadet is the only subordinate officer rank in the Canadian Army. This rank is held by beginning officers, as well as students attending the Royal Military College of Canada. Canadian Army officer cadets wear a rank insignia which consists of 1 pip over a white band. The next set of ranks below subordinate officer are the warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers ranks. Chief Warrant Officer. Chief Warrant Officer is the most senior non-commissioned member rank for Canadian Army personnel. Chief Warrant Officers usually play a liaison role and may also be appointed as Regimental Sergeant Major in a battalion-sized Army unit including Armoured, Combat Engineer, and Signal regiments. They can be identified by a rank insignia with the Canadian coat of arms. Master Warrant Officer. Master Warrant Officers may hold a number of appointments, including the position of Sergeant Major, who is the most senior non-commissioned member in a company-sized Army unit or subunit. The rank insignia of the Master Warrant Officer is a crown within a laurel wreath. The next rank below Master Warrant Officer is the rank of Warrant Officer. Warrant Officer belongs to the cadre of warrant officers, and it is the lowest of the warrant officer ranks in the Canadian Army. Warrant officers are usually responsible for training, discipline, and welfare of a company. They can be identified by a larger version of the St. Edward's crown. The rank below Warrant Officer is the rank of Sergeant. Sergeants are the only senior non-commissioned officers in the Canadian Army and are usually employed as section commanders. The rank insignia of a sergeant is 3 inverted chevrons below a maple leaf. The lowest ranking members in the Canadian Army are the junior non-commissioned members. Master Corporal is the highest rank for the junior non-commissioned members. They have authority and powers of command over all other corporals. The rank insignia for Master Corporal consists of 2 inverted chevrons below a maple leaf. Corporal. Corporal is the first non-commissioned officer rank, and the lowest rank officially empowered to issue a lawful command. Corporals can lead troops if they have the formal qualifications to be promoted to Master Corporal, but have not been promoted yet. The rank insignia of a corporal is 2 inverted chevrons. Private trained. This rank is obtained upon the completion of qualification level 3 and 30 months of qualifying service, normally before qualification level 4 is attained. A private trained is the only private to wear a rank insignia on their rank slip-on, which is an insignia consisting of a single inverted chevron. Private Basic. This is the lowest rank in the Canadian Army. After successful completion of basic military qualification, a soldier becomes a private basic. This advancement is held through basic environmental training and basic occupational training, also known as Trade-Specific Qualification Level 3, or QL3. A private basic is the first advancement to wear the standard rank slip-on, but there is no insignia for the rank. In addition to the ranks of the Canadian Army, there are also appointments and senior appointments. The appointments include Drum Major, Pipe Major, and Trumpet or Bugle Major. The senior appointments are appointments for warrant officers. These include Canadian Forces Chief Warrant Officer, Command Chief Warrant Officer, and Senior Appointment Chief Warrant Officer. That's all for the ranks of the Canadian Army. Did you know that the Canadian Army fought in the South African War? The South African War was from 1899 to 1902. In total, more than 7,000 Canadians volunteered during the South African War. 280 Canadians died and more than 250 were wounded. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for upcoming videos.